Quotes from John Calvin. From the Kindle, Deep Christian Quotes and Bible Verses. First quote. If God has bestowed on us something not to be repented of, trusting to it, we immediately become elated, and not only swell, but almost burst with pride. The vices with which we abound we both carefully conceal from others, and flatteringly represent to ourselves as minute and trivial, nay, sometimes hug them as virtues. When the same qualities which we admire in ourselves are seen in others, even though they should be superior, we, in order that we may not be forced to yield to them, maliciously lower and carpet them. In like manner, in the case of vices, not contented with severe and keen animadversion, we studiously exaggerate them. Hence the insolence with which each, as if exempted from the common lot, seeks to exalt himself above his neighbor, confidently and proudly despising others, or at least looking down upon them as his inferiors. The poor man yields to the rich, the plebeian to the noble, the servant to the master, the unlearned to the learned, and yet every one inwardly cherishes some idea of his own superiority. Thus each flattering himself, sets up a kind of kingdom in his breast. The arrogant to satisfy themselves, pass censure on the minds and manners of other men, and when contention arises, the full venom is displayed. Second quote. Only those who have learned well to be earnestly dissatisfied with themselves, and to be confounded with shame at their wretchedness truly understand the Christian gospel. Second quote. The Scriptures should be read with the aim of finding Christ in them. Whoever turns aside from this object, even though he wears himself out all his life in learning, he will never reach the knowledge of the truth. Third quote. Faith consists, not in ignorance, but in knowledge, and that, not only of God, but also of the divine will. Fourth quote. After holding forth the grace of God to animate us, and pave the way for His true worship, He removes the two greatest obstacles which stand in the way. Ungodliness, to which we are by nature too prone, and worldly lusts, which are of still greater extent. Under ungodliness, He includes not merely superstition, but everything at variance with the true fear of God. Worldly lusts are equivalent to the lusts of the flesh. Thus He enjoins us, in regard to both tables of the law, to lay aside our own mind, and renounce whatever our own reason and will dictate. Then He reduces all the actions of our lives to three branches: sobriety, righteousness, and godliness. Sobriety undoubtedly denotes as well chastity and temperance as the pure and frugal use of temporal goods, and patient endurance of want. Righteousness comprehends all the duties of equity, in every want is due. Next follows godliness, which separates us from the pollutions of the world, and connects us with God in true holiness. These, when connected together by an indissoluble chain, constitute complete perfection. Fifth quote. Then by a diligent examination of our faults let us keep ourselves humble. Thus while nothing will remain to swell our pride, there will be much to subdue it. Sixth quote. The only way by which you can ever attain to true meekness, is to have your heart imbued with a humble opinion of yourself and respect for others. Thanks.